And just like that, Elon Musk, knowing the type of guy or supposed position that he is in, doesn't have any legal authority to call for somebody's impeachment. But yet, Elon Musk is Elon Musk. Him and his billionaire tech buddies think that they can just run off and do whatever the heck they want. Well, unfortunately, why I'm saying that is because he, knowing the big whining baby he is, calls for the judge that blocked him and DOGE from accessing payments, Judge Nichols, from the federal judiciary system. He is calling for their impeachment, for his impeachment. Why? Let's break that down in today's video. This article is by CNBC, and then the article is titled, Musk Calls to Impeach Judge Whose Order Blocks DOGE from Treasury Systems Access. Published Sunday, February 9th, so tonight when I'm recording this video. This article is by Laura Kolodny. In the article reads, Elon Musk has called to impeach a federal judge in New York, Paul Eaglemeyer, over an order that temporarily restricts the tech billionaire and his DOGE team from accessing U.S. Department of Treasury payment systems sensitive data. Over this weekend, an outraged Musk on X posted my editorial edition, the social media network he owns, calling for Eaglemeyer, quote, a corrupt judge, protecting corruption, end quote, adding, quote, he needs to be impeached now, end quote. He also posted an explanation on X of what he wants to do with the Treasury Department. Musk and his special government employees who are part of his DOGE initiative are tasked by President Donald Trump with finding ways to slash the federal budget, massively reduce the federal workforce, and eliminate as many federal regulations and agencies as possible. Thus far, Musk's DOGE team has mostly targeted agencies that use a tiny portion of the overall federal budget, including the Foreign Humanitarian Assistance Agency, USAID. DOGE specifically, quote, sought money from flowing to sought access to the U.S. Department of Treasury payment system to stop money from flowing to the U.S. Agency of International Affairs, or development, end quote, the Associated Press previously reported. Eaglemeyer, who is a U.S. District Judge appointed by former President Barack Obama, issued an order temporarily blocking DOGE from accessing those payments on Saturday in response to a complaint brought by 19 states attorneys generals against President Trump, the Treasury, and its newly appointed Secretary Scott Bessent. Musk subsequently posted on X, quote, "This ruling is absolutely insane. How on earth are we supposed to stop fraud and waste of taxpayer money without looking at how money is spent? That's literally impossible. Something super shady is going on to protect scammers." In response to Musk's remarks, New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Plotkin, who is among the plaintiffs in the case, told CNBC via email, quote, "What's shady is a tech billionaire breaking the law to try to steal millions of Americans' sensitive data," end quote. The attorneys general from 19 states argued in their complaint that President Trump failed to, quote, "faithfully execute the laws enacted by Congress," quote, "in giving Musk and his team unparalleled access to the Treasury's computer system and taxpayers' sensitive data stored or processed in them." After the order was issued, Musk shared a post from a follower on X who suggested DOGE should defy the court's order. On Sunday, Vice President J.D. Vance, who is a Yale educated attorney, posted on X that, in his view, quote, "if a judge tried to tell a general how to command the attorney general in how to use let me read that quote of his message again for you guys. Quote, "If a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general in how to use her discretion as a prosecutor, that's also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power," end quote. One, what Donald Trump is blatantly doing here is solely illegal. Therefore, the judges are doing their job in stopping this corrupt fascist criminal from overriding the Constitution, or at least attempting to override the Constitution of the United States, and breaking the law. J.D. Vance, you need to stay out of it. This is not your position. Continuing with the article. New Jersey General Plotkin said via an email statement, quote, "We absolutely expect the defendants to comply with the order, which the court issued on or in light of an egregiously illegal actions at the issue and the enormous risk they pose to cybersecurity and privacy. Our nation is built on the rule of law, and we intend to pursue it to the maximum extent to protect our residents," end quote. According to legal scholars, the judiciary historically has been able to restrain the executive branch from violating the Constitution and other laws. Joyce White Vance, who's a law professor at the University of Alabama School of Law and legal analysis for NBC News, wrote in an email on Sunday that, quote, "The Constitution and our rule of law tradition are set up so that the courts have jurisdiction to consider the scope of possessed by the executive branch, in parentheses, the president, when his actions are challenged." That's why we are seeing groups of state attorney generals go to court to challenge whether Trump has legal authority to take steps like canceling birthright citizenship, suspending congressional authorized spending, and sending DOGE out to federal agencies, end quote. She noted that, quote, "Centuries of precedent established the rule of law of the courts in checking overreach by the executive branch," end quote, including cases like Youngstown Sheet and Tubing Company v. Sawyer, where the U.S. Supreme Court refused to let President Harry Truman take over the U.S. steel mills during the Korean War. Marin K. Levy, who is a professor of law at Duke Law School, told CNBC via email on Sunday that, quote, "The state attorneys general and the judge in this case were all acting well within their authority. What we saw here was the judicial system working as it is supposed to," end quote. She also emphasized what the court decided yesterday was not a final ruling on the merits of the case. Rather, the court has granted a request for emergency relief, also known as a RTO, or temporary restraining order, by the attorneys general The professor explained, quote, "This is done in cases in which there is concern that irreparable harm will occur before a court can even decide the merits of the case, and now another judge will decide the merits." End quote. Musk has repeatedly accused judges of corruption, illegal, or suspicious conduct after he was displeased with their orders or opinions. For example, he lashed out at Chancellor Kathleen McCormick in the Delaware Court of Chancery after she found Musk's 2018 Tesla CEO compensation package, worth tens of millions, had been granted illegally and must be rescinded. He also repeatedly lashed out at the head of Brazil's Supreme Court, Justice Alexandre de Moraes, as the country pushed X, formerly Twitter, to comply with its social media regulations after months of legal battles there and posts denigrating de Moraes on X, most acquisitive, bear with me guys, acquisitive, I believe is how it's pronounced, to the court's demands, paid fines, and complied with Brazilian laws. The case impacting Musk's access to Treasury data and computer systems in state of New York, ETAL v. Trump, ETAL in the Southern District of New York. Case 125 CV 01144 JAV. And let's read the court order right here. The court order says, the case number, obviously, document 6, February 8th, 2025, page 104. United States District Court, Southern District of New York, State of New York, State of Arizona, State of California, State of Colorado, State of Connecticut, State of Delaware, State of Hawaii, State of Illinois, State of Maine, State of Maryland, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, State of Minnesota, State of Nevada, State of New Jersey, State of North Carolina, State of Oregon, State of Rhode Island, State of Vermont, and last but not least, State of Wisconsin. Hence, it is obviously listing the defendants in official capacity. And this is what it says. This court sitting in its Part 1 capacity this evening received an application for a temporary restraining order filed by attorneys generals of the 19 states identified as plaintiffs above. The state's lawsuit challenges a new policy by the United States Department of the Treasury at the direction of the President and the Secretary of the Treasury, which, as alleged, expands access to the payment systems of the Bureau of Fiscal Services, BFS, to political appointees and, quote, special government employees, that is supposedly Elon Musk. The states contend that this policy, inter alia, violates the Administrative Procedure Law Act, APA 5 U.S.C. 551 et sequel in multiple respects, exceeds the statutory authority of the Department of Treasury, violates the separation of powers doctrine, and violates the Take Care of Clause of the United States Constitution. The states seek declaratory and injunctive relief. Later this evening, upon the state's successful filing of their submissions, this matter was assigned on a permanent basis to the Honorable Jean A. Vargas, United States District Judge. The court has sorry about that, guys. The court has reviewed the information of Colleen K. Flaherty, dated February 7th. That is 3 days ago now. The court has, I already read that, in support of the state's motion for a temporary restraining order, the state's memorandum of law. In support of that motion, the state's motion for a temporary restraining order dated February 7th, 2025, and the complaint, the court's affirm assessment is that for the reasons stated by the states, they will face irreparable harm in the absence of injunctive relief. See Walter Notrez, Deaf Counsel, Inc., 555 U.S. 7, 2008. That is both because of the risk of that the new policy presents the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information, and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. The court's further assessment is that gain for the reason given by the states have shown a likelihood of success on the merits of their claims with the states statutory claims presenting as particularly strong. The court's further assessment is that the balance of the equities for the reasons states by the states, or stated by the states, favors in the entry of emergency relief. The court accordingly orders that the defendants show cause before the Honorable Janet A. Vargas at Courtroom 14C, United States Courthouse, 500 Pearl Street, New York, New York, at 2 p.m. on Friday, February 14th. Why an order should not be issued pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedural Preliminary enjoining the defendants during the pendency of this action from granting to politically appointees, special government employees, and any government employee detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department access to Treasury Department payment systems or any other data maintained by the Treasury Department containing personal identifiable information, and further orders that sufficient reason having been shown, therefore, pending the hearing of the state's application for a preliminary injunction pursuant to Rule 65, of the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure, the defendants are restrained from granting access to any Treasury Department record payment systems or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information and or confidential financial information of payees other than to civil servants with a need for access to perform their job duties within the Bureau of Fiscal Services, BFS, who have passed all background checks and security duties within the BFS clearances and taken all information security training called for in federal statutes and Treasury Department regulations. That is all, folks, that we're going to have time for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as click the bell icon that is right next to the subscribe button so you never miss a brand new video. And last but not least, please help me reach the channel goal of 90 subscribers. We're almost there. We are currently at 83 subscribers. Don't quote me on that. I think we might have gone up because last I checked, after I recorded one of my previous videos, we had went up to 83 subscribers from 82 subscribers. So I had to correct that in my video description of that video. Um, but if you guys haven't followed me on my um, on my uh, on my socials down below, please do so. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram, and Threads. Those three social medias you guys can follow to get to make sure you get notified about every time I posted a brand new video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.